Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
The Truth is proudly brought to you by the IBFP, aka the Fanboy Killer. No excuses for Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo Alvarez knocks out Billy Joe Saunders in 8 rounds. Let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible, because all I heard was excuses leading up to the fight. All I heard was how Billy Joe Saunders was worried he wasn't going to get a fair shake. How he was scared he was going to, lose the fight because he's going to get robbed, or Canelo's going to try to cheat some way or another. Let's break it down. Canelo Alvarez stops Billy Joe Saunders in 8 rounds. A lot of people are going to say he made him quit. He made him quit on his stool. He couldn't take it anymore. He was saying no mas. He wanted no more. No more of Canelo Alvarez is what he wanted. Canelo Alvarez is the unified champion, and there's no excuses for Billy Joe Saunders. See, first Billy Joe Saunders came and asked for a 20-foot ring when they arrived, and Canelo Alvarez said no problem. He said no problem. Then Billy Joe Saunders came back and says, no, I want a 22-foot ring. And Canelo Alvarez says, no problem again. There's no excuse. Canelo Alvarez agreed twice, and a 22-foot ring is the biggest ring that Billy Joe Saunders has ever fought in his career. In his entire career, this was the biggest ring this man has ever fought in. You have no excuses. Canelo Alvarez gave you the biggest ring you've ever fought in your career. There's no excuses. This is why the towel was over his head. This is why he didn't have anything to say. This is why he was looking just distraught, beat down, because he has no excuses. Only a hater, an idiot, a dummy, or a moron would make an excuse for Billy Joe Saunders. Let's get to the judges. His other excuse, he was so scared he was going to get robbed. You didn't need to go to the judges because Canelo stopped you. He made you quit. He made you quit. There's no excuses. Even Billy Joe Saunders knew the process of selecting the judges for the Canelo fight, and it was in the contract. He signed a contract with the judges, knew the process, and still complained. He wanted an excuse. He wanted something to go running behind because he did not want to give this man credit. He didn't want to do it. Canelo Alvarez unifies yet another belt. Billy has no excuses left in the tank. And Canelo Alvarez didn't have a Mexican judge. Billy didn't have a UK judge. All of these judges were American. All of it was neutral and fair. Yet Billy Joe Saunders still complained, looking for a way out to make an excuse. There's no excuses for Billy Joe Saunders. Anybody giving you excuses for this man? He talked all this trash, and now he looks stupid. Then Billy Joe Saunders said before the fight, he believes he's the only fighter with the skills to beat Canelo Alvarez. Your skills didn't pay off. Your defense wasn't tight because he popped you in your eye and made you say no mas. You couldn't even get up from your stool. So there's no excuses. Canelo Alvarez unified this man's belt, beat a prime, undefeated world champion, cut off the ring, and popped his eye right out of his socket. Because men lie, women lie, but the facts don't lie.